The technology thing is interesting because you always have folks that, you know, the technology is the problem. That, well, see, the reason that X, Y, and Z is this way is because this new technology has like replaced, this other thing.
Yeah.
And my sort of approach to this has always been to just embrace the technology, try to figure out how to interface with it in a way that doesn't take away from me, but that adds something, maybe some more efficiency or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I do understand this idea, this point, where, what 15 years ago or something, 20 years ago, whenever that exact time period was, when music started to become sort of available for free.
Yeah.
And then everyone had access to, and now we have access to like everything, every thing in recorded history is like on YouTube or something, or most of it at least is. And so you can get so much music, but you don't necessarily have to have like the same skin in the game, right? You didn't have to go buy the record. You didn't have like limited resources, so you could only get one record, and that meant that you had to listen to that one record over and over and over, so you became a lot more familiar with that one record.
Well, that was me in 1970, like around 1977, 78.
Yeah, I mean,
like we haven't, we just had enough money to get a couple albums here and there, so.
Yeah, and like when a new joint came out, you would go get it, and then you would spend so much time with that same recording, and then that whole idea of listening together, listening parties. Now I think a listening party is like, there's something in no, it's called a watch party.
Yeah.
I think this, so like in Facebook or something, it's like a watch party. So you all watch the same video together, but you're not in the same room, right? It's all virtual,
yeah.
Right? And I'm not against that. It's just, it's not the same as being in the same room and having limited access to stuff. So the stuff that you picked, you had to be really specific and deliberate about it. And then it just made it stick to you more. Now, it's definitely better having more access to more information. That's definitely a plus. But unless...
I think you have to have to make a choice, though. Once you'd have to choose the things that you think might be useful. Because you can't deal with everything.
You have to do that, and I think it's tremendously beneficial for folks like you and me that are old enough to remember what it was like before. So we developed our sort of appreciation for the music. We developed that earlier when all of this wasn't available. So now that it is available, it's like, oh man, like all this stuff, and we can actually take the same approach, but have a bigger access. Whereas it seems like what's happening with students now is because they have so much access that they become very shallow in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so it's more about naming what which recordings they had access to, because they're all available. But also I think going back to 1978, 77, 78, 79, we had fewer distractions. We weren't answering text messages and sending text messages and no one had a cell phone, and we didn't have music playing on our phones. We had to go get that music, and and buy two recordings if you had the money for it, and listen to those recordings. And as a distraction,
like even like having a good place in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, even having like a good place in your house, like with a nice like set of speakers, and you're actually and not just in the with headphones. And I'm not against headphones, of course. Headphones are great, but it's just different. It's just different.
My turntable was this cheap thing that was the case was actually made of cardboard, like a heavy cardboard, and it had the multiple speeds, and I would turn it down to, I can't remember now, I guess I would turn it down to 78 or something if I wanted to transcribe something that was fast.
And it took it down an octave, right?
Took it down about an octave, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was what you would get. You couldn't tweak it. It was one or the other.
Right. Now there's like a button on your phone that will slow stuff down without changing the pitch. And it's gradient. You can do.
There's that function in Logic where you can transcribe a single audio line and have it converted to like a MIDI file.
Yep. And actually, I first started noticing that because the program Finale, it had this is a long time ago that they were doing this too. I mean, of course, it still does this. Microphone notator. So you can actually play an audio or sing something if you can sing pitches well enough, and it'll actually transcribe what you're singing or playing. So that told me that capability existed, and then they were going to continue to improve that. So yeah, now it's just like load the audio file in, and it'll kick out MIDI notes.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff.
Yes, a former student of mine told me about it, and I had to try it. I just played some really crazy stuff, and it came pretty close to transcribing everything perfect.